Happy New Year and welcome to the first episode of Business Beat for 2022. And who better to sit with me and talk about what the year may very well have in store for us than my good friend Zoli from Joe Public. Zoli, welcome to Business Beat.
Thank you so much for having me and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Hope you had a great break and that you're all refreshed and recharged and motivated for the year ahead. I have worked with you for a number of years and I saw you enter the ad industry as a young aspiring copywriter and then grow up the ranks into being at the helm of one of South Africa's most creative and awarded agencies, but also chairman of the Lurie Awards, chairman of the Creative Circle. So in your years of experience, you've seen all kinds of creative work. You've now also seen what a COVID pandemic can do, and how it has forced creatives to really have to flex. What do you think are the big things that brands need to watch out for 2022, knowing what you know from 2021?
For the first time, probably more so than ever, brands can become a genuine part of the story that people share amongst themselves. And I think there's a wonderful word that we kept hearing last year, and I think we'll continue to hear it as we go further into this new year, and that is that word of empathy. When brands are very much aware of what their consumers are going through and can offer them something a little bit more, whether it's through their brand story, whether it's through added value, whether it's through the right causes that they get involved in, but where they can offer them a little bit more than just selling a tangible product. And so I think as we go further into this new year, the one thing that's at the heart of everything is going to be this word of empathy. Brands are going to have to continue to read the room. I think that for me is always something.
But here's the thing though, being the agent of the brand, do clients really listen when you say they need to read the room?
I think that will always be an ongoing challenge, Odette. And one of the ways that we try and deal with that is that we're very much aware of the importance of trust.
Yeah.
We understand that trust is earned as well. But what I always say to the marketing people that I deal with, I always say to them that find an agency that you trust and then trust them to do what it is that you've brought them in to do.
Yes, absolutely.
You should never be the marketer that gets an excellent agency to do bad work.
The detriment of most brands, right?
Yep.
I think that going into 2022, people are going in with a little bit of hope and an anticipation of some newness and some change. Do you suspect there will be a massive shift in how clients will be spending their budgets and how advertising will be served to consumers?
I actually do. Last night I spent some time reading up on some upcoming trends around people and the workplace, and the fact that post what people have experienced, nobody wants to go back to what was there before.
Right.
So you've got, for instance, a big group in the context of our field, which is the Publicis Group, as an example, that has just started an initiative where all their employees for 30 days, I think it was 30 days, that they will be able to work at any of their offices around the world.
Wow.
And it becomes a retention strategy, it becomes a response strategy to listening to the room and to listening to the fact that people are looking for a world that doesn't take them back to where they were, because I think people have progressed in that way. And I think that that's the opportunity for all of us as brands. We are going to have to observe so carefully what people are doing. I always make this example, when COVID first hit, I would attend a lot of interviews where I'd be asked the question of which brand do you think is the winner during this time?
Right.
And I think that the brand that's the winner during this time is actually the people.
Yeah.
If you look at the rise of social media, if you look at the rise of platforms like TikTok, where a person can sit consumed in entertainment that they want for themselves for hours upon hours.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as creating the content that had all of us talking, that had that dominated conversations, which is why, for instance, with one of our clients, when Chicken Licken said, listen, we had a commercial that we're supposed to go out with, And we no longer could shoot that commercial. We then said, if you've got all these artists that are out of jobs, and if you've got all these content creators that are creating the work that gets everyone talking, for our next commercial, why don't we just honor them and the
Right.
spirit of the country during this very, very, very
And
tragic
what a
time?
beautiful piece of work it ended up being.
And the brand had to put themselves second at
Right.
that stage. The brand had to put themselves second, read the room, see that the nation needed some upliftment,
Right.
and allow themselves to be a catalyst to that.
So we've got this unemployment problem in South Africa, right?
Yep.
And I mean, those of us who are creative, we are the misfits, the ones, the
Yep.
kind of people don't understand, but we are the ones who see things differently. So is this our time?
This is the time for that young content creator who doesn't follow the rules like you and I
Yes.
to shine.
Yes.
And brands have a huge role to play in that and have got huge benefit to gain from that if they do it right.
So my takeouts then from this conversation is that at the core of any brand message, any brand communication, any campaign, any creativity is authenticity.
Absolutely.
Authenticity
is key.
Because
That-
that's the integrity, right?
That's the
backbone.
integrity. That's it. Because,
Yeah.
because also, if you don't have it, consumers see right through you.
Mm.
And I don't know if you've been checking in these last couple of years, but the brands are on the back foot when it comes to just being trusted.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing around cultural appropriation, joining into conversations just so that you can dominate the conversation and not being genuinely interested in it, that for me is almost the default space that a brand is looked at through. And they have to work just to get to a place where people are saying, okay, now we'll listen to you.
You know what it's like to hustle the grind in the ad industry. It's not an easy industry and it's not for sissies. But it's also an industry that not many people know about. What do you have to say to your younger self, who happens to be a whole lot of young people watching or listening to this particular interview, about their future, their dreams, and surviving a pandemic?
I think that the beauty about what has happened in South Africa, arguably, partially because brands have been forced to, and those that haven't are getting left behind. But whatever the reasons are, brands are having to listen to those voices, are having to tell those stories that reflect real lives that people live. And the only way to get to the heart of those stories is to bring those people into the fold. And my message to my younger self and the young people everywhere out there is that I can promise you that the future of advertising is actually yours.
Ah, that's
If
so
you will
awesome.
just take it, it is absolutely yours.
It's
the
so awesome.
stories that they have are what our industry needs.
I actually have goose flesh. So it's so wonderful. I can talk to you for hours and hours and hours and hours. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I wish you every success for the year ahead. And let's keep flying the flag of great work.
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure, Odette. Big fan of the show. And for us, as an agency, whenever I get any accolades, I always remind people that it takes a village. And there's so many people that I've got behind me that have assisted on this journey. So to all the marketers, to all the advertisers, best of luck as we navigate this thing together.
There you have it, South Africa. It is our time. It is our time to shine, young people. It is our time to shine, creatives. It is our time to flex. And it is our time to do amazing things. May 2022 bring with it much success and everything your heart desires. Don't forget to still be safe. Until next time.